Okay, so we have another T-joint here, and again, that's just the metal is forming a T, so it's called a T-joint. But unlike the last one, we have two different sizes of metal, a large one and a small one, and we're actually going to weld this small piece in the middle of this larger piece. Now, this takes away the luxury we had in our last class, where we were actually the edges lined up here with the corner, and we could focus all of our heat on this edge. So now we're actually welding in the middle of this large piece, which is probably where the less amount of strength in this metal is as far as being heat resistant. So the challenge here is getting a good weld, even weld, on both pieces of metal, which are both the same thickness. These are about 16 gauge, so close to 1/8 of an inch. So we want good penetration, but we need to focus that weld evenly on both pieces of metal without blowing through and having a good weld. Okay, so to get a great weld without blowing through either side, I'm going to start, just like the other weld, I'm going to start my weld pool here on this corner, because again, this is where the metal is thickest. And I'm also going to do the circle pattern in this particular instance, and I'm going to go clockwise, and that's simply because the clockwise method is going to allow me to push that weld down on top of this. And that, I would change that if I was welding overhead, because since I have my gun facing down, all my heat and airflow is pushing everything down. So I'm going to put my weld pool here, do the little circle, push it down over on top of this, come back, come up, down, and that way, hopefully, most of my heat will be focused here in the center and just sort of pushing over like this. Nice little circle. Now, the reason I'm not going counterclockwise is because, again, my gun is pointed down, so all my airflow and force and heat is being forced downward. So if I were to go counterclockwise in this instance, I would really just be pushing that heat over right here into the middle here, where the cut edge is on this metal, and I would most likely blow through, not get enough weld up here on the side wall, and just blow through it, and it just wouldn't be pretty. So we're going to start here on the corner, do our little circle, and push it on over. Just push it on over. All right, so here we have our circle technique, looking pretty good.